Yo, what's going on guys? HyperX here. Welcome back to another video for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. And this one, I want to talk a little bit more about the recent Switch skill news they shared in the digital event. Of course, Switch skill swap and the swap evade. They are both incredibly cool new mechanics. I want to expand a little bit more on that based on sort of the gameplay that we've seen and the information on the website. So if you guys do enjoy this, a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below, let me know what you guys think of this new mechanic. Let me know how you guys think it's going to factor into gameplay. And of course, don't forget to keep it locked. Also, as a reminder, they did say that the weapon videos will start dropping from the 16th, which is next Monday. If it's anything like how they have done it in the past, then there will typically be 2 weapons per day. That's what I'm assuming. So that would then mean throughout the entirety of next week, we should get a look at most of the weapons. Again, going historically, they used to drop them from Monday to Friday and then of course resume the following week. So quite whether we see all weapons next week or just most of them will of course remain to be seen. But during that, I expect to see a lot more because on the Switch skill front, of course, we have seen a variety of different moves so far, but they have all been very quick snippets. There was also a little montage in the trailer itself. I believe some of this is sort of a combination of potentially some new moves and also just some existing animations, because some of these are of course familiar, things like charging files into the charge blade, things like spinning around the hunting horn. So some of these may well be little sort of tricks, or it might well be there are some new moves baked into these, but these were so incredibly quick you can't necessarily sort of highlight all of them. But the one from the Sword and Shield was definitely interesting because this does look remarkably like the sort of animation that went to the end of Chaos Oil, admittedly a little bit different because that one was done off the back of running, but we have seen that from the Japanese trailer as well. So quite whether there is some sort of a Chaos Oil style move. Admittedly, oils don't exist in Rise, so I imagine it would probably have a maybe a similar behavior, albeit just without the oils. But anyway, that is something I am definitely looking forward to seeing. But to recap the Switch skill, the sort of Switch skill swap functionality, the way they basically described it is you then have 2 items. You have the red Switch skill swap scroll and the blue Switch skill swap scroll. They're basically adding a system in the game whereby on these different scrolls, before you go on a quest, you can then basically assign different Switch skills to these scrolls. On the official website, they describe it saying there are 2 customizable sets, the red scroll and the blue scroll, and you can use Switch skill swap to quickly change back and forth between these 2 scrolls. Now from the gameplay they've shown, again, they haven't sort of given us an in-depth run through of exactly how this works, but as you can see on screen, there is a UI element. It actually looks like it's sort of a new UI element, so of course you can actually see what is bound to your different buttons, to your X and your Y buttons, and of course you then have the X plus A options. So given that of course Rise is using pretty much all the available buttons, I would assume this is something that shows up when you hold down the appropriate Switch skill button. Keep in mind that's different whether you're using a melee weapon or a ranged weapon. When you hold down that button, and then of course you would normally press either X or Y, you can instead press X plus Y to swap between that scroll. You can of course see in the UI element here, you have the option to change the Switch skill. You have the 2 different scrolls assigned there. We have Step Slash, Spirit, Round Slash Combo, Special Sheath Combo, Soaring Kick, and Serene Pose. So of course some of those ones listed there, and you have multiple switch options on the side. Of course you can see in the demonstration, they basically assign 2 different options depending on the scroll they have. So as you can then see, mid-combat, you can swap between them, which is going to give us a lot of fun permutations. Keep in mind there are of course only certain things you can swap between in Rise. You couldn't necessarily have a completely customized list, but it is still pretty interesting because this is going to make some of those lesser used skills more viable, and also with the addition of new skills, don't forget they are adding new Silkbind skills, new Switch skills for all 14 weapons in Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, so that'll of course expand the roster. So with this sort of combination of new and old moves, it definitely gives us a lot more things to play with. And again, they have thought about everything because they've also given us the swap evade move, so you're not just going to have to stand here idly and hope to not be hit while you quickly swap. You can actually do this in combat, which I think is going to be the most interesting thing. Definitely working out ways to seamlessly weave the switches into your combat, into your evade, is going to make for some really, really epic setups. Going from sort of powerful hits into maybe things that'll buff your weapon, other things like that could actually be really awesome. So yeah, definitely I'm just going to say right now, I can't wait to see the speedrunners use this because I feel like there's going to be some pretty epic runs. But for the time being, that is pretty much it. A little rundown on the Switch skill swap, the swap evade function, and of course some of the new Silkbind moves. There are some additional fun ones, so that's pretty awesome. But yeah, starting next week, I cannot wait to see some of the new stuff, the new weapons. So as and when that does drop, of course, keep it locked on the channel because we will go through each and every one to talk about what they have shown. So that's it for the time being. If you missed some of the recent videos on the channel, be sure to check out one of these ones. Keep it locked for plenty more Sunbreak news, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.